Hello everyone and welcome back to Lucky Loaders 15. Well, I'll be giving you 3 of my best tips for tomorrow's racing. Now before we get stuck into that, just want to go through a couple of things with you. Now first of all, if you haven't done so already, make sure you check out the latest episode of the In the Saddle podcast, where we're starting now to upload our Cheltenham Festival previews, and we've uploaded our day 1 preview where it was myself, Paul Callahan, Katie Clements and special guest Aidan Coleman covering all the main action on the first day of the Cheltenham Festival. And if you want to listen to it, there'll be links to all the podcast platforms in the description box below. We've got all of them covered, including the likes of Soundcloud, Spotify and iTunes. So whichever one takes your fancy, just hit one of those links in the description box below. Also as well, before I go into the tips for tomorrow, I quickly just want to reflect also on how our tips performed today. In the end, it was a bit of a frustrating day, to be honest with you. My next best, Byford at Lingfield, came in second place in the end. He did beat Carabino, who I thought he would beat, but in the end it was Crimson King for Holly Doyle and Mick Appleby that picked up the pieces. I wasn't particularly happy with the ride Jason Hart gave Byford. I think he was maybe caught in two minds. I don't think he really knew what he was doing today, how it would unfold tactically, and I don't think he really went out there with a plan, whereas we knew that from the get-go that Holly Doyle was really happy with Crimson King, didn't want to get involved in the early exchanges, just held him out the back, and then came with a late run to pick them off one by one in the closing straight. So yeah, really frustrating there with Byford. So that was one that I was a little bit unhappy with. And then the nap of the day, no excuses really. The flying sofa, he was given every chance. He was jumping well, given a good prominent ride by Jamie Moore, but in the end just wasn't good enough. Bumped into a Venetia Williams handicap good thing. So yeah, just the way it goes. Been a little bit better this week, had a couple of winners, been a little bit up and down, but yeah, it'd be nice to turn around our form going into the weekend before the Cheltenham Festival. So let's get into it then. 3 tips for tomorrow's racing. Now we're going to be starting tomorrow with my next best, which runs in the 150 at Sandown, and this is the EBF final. Now I know a lot of people saying that this is a competitive race, but I've got one that I'm particularly sweet on here, and that is Patroclus for Nico de Boinville and Nicky Henderson. Now you can currently back this horse at 10 to 1 with bookmakers at the moment, and that's being offered by SkyBet at the time recording, who are offering 6 places in the race. And I'm going to put this one up as my next best, and I'm going to recommend a 1 point each way selection here. Now this horse, he's won his last 2 starts at Exeter and at Doncaster, doing quite a lot wrong, but he always rallies really strongly and hits the line hard, and he really did it last time out at Doncaster, and I thought he was really eye-catching. It looks like, if you go back and watch the race replay, that Jeremy Pass is going to go and win the race, because at one point Patroclus, I think it was at the second to last hurdle, he absolutely clattered it, and then he started drifting left, but then when Nico got his mind back on the job, he got to the front, and then he was rallying again and staying on really strongly in the closing stages. And I think those qualities tomorrow, the fact that he does battle hard to go and win his race, and he does know how to put it out of the fire, might serve him in good stead at the track at Sandown tomorrow. I think he's got a really good chance, and I think he's fairly handicapped on what he's achieved so far off a mark of 129, and I think if it all falls right for him, I think he could at least be a 135 plus horse. So I really like the chances of Patroclus tomorrow, and the ground shouldn't be a problem for him. So if he can get into a good prominent position, just tracking maybe the pace in the hands of Nico de Boinville, I think he's got a great chance tomorrow. I'm hoping he would have learnt a lot the last day from Doncaster, so that's why he's going to be my next best in the 150 at Sandown. We then go to my nap of the day, which runs in the 205 at Wolverhampton in the Wolfruna Stakes, a listed race, and I can't believe I'm putting this horse up as my nap tomorrow, but I'm going to be doing it, and that's Mum's Tipple for Ryan Moore and Richard Hannon in the 205 at Wolverhampton. You can currently back this horse at 4 to 1, and I'm going to recommend a 1 point win only bet here. Now this horse I thought was really eye-catching at Lingfield in the Catchy Stakes, where that was over 6 furlongs in the listed race there, and he was really eye-catching for Ryan Moore, and Richard Hannon was in a good position, travelling really well. But then when he was just about to go and make his challenge to win the race, he was really badly hampered, and it just knocked all his momentum. And then after that, Ryan Moore wasn't hard on him at all. And if you go back and watch the race, he's actually making ground with Ryan Moore not doing anything at all. He's basically just sitting on the bridle with him, you know, and he did hit the line quite hard. Now that was over 6 furlongs, and I know ever since he won the York Sales race at the Eborn meeting a couple of years ago, I know he's been disappointing since that run, but I thought there was plenty to like about that run last time out. I know he's been tried at a mile, but I think 7 furlongs could be his ideal trip. And Richard Hannon as well won this race last year with a horse called Urban Icon for Ryan Moore and Richard Hannon. A similar kind of profile in the fact that they're both 4-year-olds. And if you actually look at the Roll of Honour in this race, young progressive 4-year-olds are often the way to go. Now, obviously, like I said, he does have a lot of things to come back from Mum's Tipple, but I really liked that run last time out in the Catchy Stakes. I know the form hasn't been boosted that much, but I think he ran a lot better than the bare result suggested, and I think he probably would have won the race if things had fallen his way. So yeah, Mum's Tipple tomorrow. I really strongly fancy this one, and I'll be disappointed if he couldn't go really close, and I'm expecting a much better ride this time by Ryan Moore. So that's why Mum's Tipple is going to be my nap for Saturday. We then go to my long shot, which will run in the Imperial Cup, the 225, and I'm going with a horse here called Highway 102 for Tom Cannon and Chris Gordon. And you can currently back this horse at the time recording of 11-1 with SkyBet, who are offering 5 places on the race, and I'm going to recommend here a 0.5 each way selection. Now this horse, I know that Chris Gordon wanted, or was at least tempted, to run it last year in the Imperial Cup at Sandown, but in the end they went down the graded route, and he was actually Chris Gordon's first ever graded winner when he landed the Grade 2 Duff Cut hurdle at Kempton. It was an impressive performance that day where he made all from the front. He's a customary keen going forward type, but that's the way he likes to run. I wouldn't be alarmed at all if you see him running like that tomorrow, because that's just him. He's very good from the front, and he can be very devastating. And that day he beat Nicky Henderson's Buzz, who we've seen in some decent handicaps this year and has done some good things over the sticks. So yeah, that was a good run, obviously, when Highway 102 won that. He won that race when he was officially rated off a mark of 135. He's now rated 137, so he's only £2 higher. But I remember speaking to Chris at the time, because I visited his yard in late January, early February, that kind of time. And he told me that he thought this horse was really well handicapped off a mark of 135 and thought he had a great chance in the Imperial Cup. But yeah, going on to what we've seen from him this season, he's been really mixed in his runs this season. He did go chasing, where he had a couple of below par performances, let's say, where he bumped into Hitman, where I think he actually fell, if I remember, and then he unseated, I think it must have been Tom Cannon that day at Carlisle. So they quickly aborted that, and then he went to Sandown back over hurdles on his first run over hurdles this season, and he was given the most peculiar ride. I don't know what the hell Tom Cannon was doing holding him up, because like I said, that's a very rare that was a really rare ride for Highway 102. Like I said, he's always a keen, enthusiastic type that likes to go from the front, and that's normally his running style. And I don't know what they were doing holding him up. Maybe it was trying to get his confidence back, but I was amazed the stewards didn't pull him up. However, he was disappointed in the Betfair hurdle, but last time out at Newbury, just last weekend, he showed a lot more zest, and he ran a really respectable race to finish in second place. And I think he's now coming into a little bit of form. Chris Gordon's horses have been running well. They had Mount Windsor as well earlier in the week, absolutely bolt up when he was meant to be going for the Betfair hurdle, but had 1 or 2 setbacks. So I know they really like this horse, and I think off a mark of 137, he's definitely off a very workable mark, and that's why he is going to be my long shot for Saturday afternoon. So that's Highway 102 in the Imperial Cup, the 225 at Sandown. So let's quickly then recap through the 3 tips for tomorrow. In the 115 at Sandown, it's Patroclus is the next best, 10-1 each way, 6 places, SkyBet. In the 205 at Wolverhampton, Mum's Tipple is the nap of the day, 4-1, 1 point win only bet. And in the 225 at Sandown, we go with Highway 102, and he's a long shot there, 11-1, 5 places each way, SkyBet, 0.5 each way. giveaway, I should say there. So yeah, that rounds off the 3 tips for tomorrow's racing. So let me know in the comments box below what you're going to be backing tomorrow, and if you're enjoying these videos, please remember to hit the thumbs up button and subscribe here to my YouTube channel at Lucky Loaders 15. If you want to follow me on social media, the best place and the only place to do so is on Twitter, where my handle is at Lucky Loader 15. And if you want to find out a little bit more about myself, my website address is www.chrisloaderracing.co.uk. So please game responsibly. Hopefully we can have some winners tomorrow, and we'll be seeing you soon.